legal instruments and financial instruments that can help us plan the future for kids with disabilities. Like whenever we want them to grow up and be more independent, it's better to be safe if we have planned their future life. So Mass Mutual is a company that offers all, at least the acknowledgement of all these instruments for you to plan. And they have offered to give anybody that is interested in this group a session. If you go through us, if you call us and say, hey, I want to get onto that, it's a first free session, right, Inger? The first informational session with them. Yes. They work personally with your family, and then they explain to you what they can help you with, and you decide if you want to work with them or if you want to go look at another company that offers the same. So I think it's a great advantage, because if you do decide that you need to plan out that financial part of your future, of your child's future, and to go through Mass Mutual, it is only a fraction of the cost that they would charge just anybody. So if you would like to get on board with that, and just not a commitment right now, but just to get to know about that and have that free session, please let Inger know, please let myself know. I'll put our emails there. You got them in your own confirmation emails, but I'll let you have our emails again, just in case anybody is interested.
I think it's a great opportunity, because he helps you to start getting your paperwork together, getting it in order, knowing what you'll need to use in order to get ready for the future. And even if he can't help you and you want to go further to someone that you've already been working with, you have your paperwork, you have the knowledge of what you'll need to complete that service. Good morning, Miss Dolores. How are you? We were trying to wait for a few more people to what happened? He left us? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Yeah, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
This week there was a Sci-Fair transition fair, and I did go, and I met Christine there, Leslie, and Brian, the Brian explained me, like, Brian is already in the board of director, right, of the Family to Family Network, and Family to Family Network received the grant to help families like us for future planning, right? And I would recommend everyone to participate for that. And I think he mentioned that, it will be a reduced cost, right? He will do
right. Right. It's a reduced cost, and I think it's beneficial just to know where you are and what more planning you need to do. So I would definitely, even if you don't work with him, but you get the information that you need, it's so beneficial at this time, because things are changing as we go along. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and can everybody see the PowerPoint?
No, I can't see it. Are you sharing it?
Yeah, I thought I hit share. Hold on one second. Let me see. Let me go through it.
If I'm right, are we able to do the series of workshop regarding finance, or how we're planning? I think you can talk with Brian and let us know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, if we can do the series of the
well, I know we do have a slot for 10 families, and we've already started working with 2 families already. So that means there's 8 more slots.
Oh, 8 more slots. Okay. Yeah. I would like to be in.
Okay. So I think you sent us, I know you sent some to Mary Jane, and she sent it to me. So I'll forward your information, your email, and so Brian can reach out to you.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I think I'm sharing now, I think. It's been, let's see. I started talking and I forgot to share again. There we go.
Now I can see it. Yeah, I wasn't seeing it.
Wait a minute, I can't, for some reason, I can't go back to it. See something, it's a Saturday morning. Things don't work as they should, Technology is wonderful when it works. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, there we go. All righty. So now we're talking about profiles. And I don't know if everyone has received the forms that after you complete the survey, I sent out forms to kind of help you. It was different forms to tell you about the trajectory, how to work on that. I also sent a copy of the profile form that we'll be working with today. So if you have not received your forms, please email me or Christina and let us know, and we will send those forms out to you. And if you have any questions about the forms, certainly go ahead and give us a call, and we'll even work through the forms with you. We can do a Zoom, and it can be a personal Zoom, and we'll work through the forms with you. Okay, because it's very important that you use these tools, because they're so awesome and they help you to try to think, so you don't have to on your own think about what I need to think about, what I need, because it's already there. Okay, so this is our last meeting. We've had 3 meetings. If any of the group would like to break off and have their own meetings and they want to have some more family members come in, you're certainly welcome. We can have up to 15 people. And we can do this all over personally for whatever group. So if you still want to get more knowledge, just let me know and we can start another small group. Okay, so I want to welcome you guys to our last class, Planning for the Future, Financial Security and Support. And I always want you to remember that Family to Family Network, we have monthly ongoing trainings monthly, not only with our project, but there are other projects such as the IEP they have that is working with Judy and Leslie. I was able to attend one of their classes. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, and it was so awesome. I got so much information. So if you want to know anything about the IEP, certainly email me or Christina, and we will send that information to Leslie or Judy, and they'll get back with you and see how they can help you.
And you can also find it on our website. There's a calendar of the classes, and there is a link to sign up on them. It's also for free.
I think that's awesome. If you're just starting out with IEPs, going to arts, there are a lot of questions, and we don't want you to miss anything because we want you to be an advocate for your child. So if you have the knowledge, you're able to get the maximum out of education for your child. And it's good to start making good decisions at the beginning. So this is a form of the trajectory. I'm gonna try to pull this down so I can get it. I want you guys, we talked about life trajectories last time. We had a different form, but now this form is talking about, and everybody remembers what the trajectory, what it is. If anybody want to answer that question, you can go ahead and unmute. And then we can talk about it, because this is interactive training. You get to talk, we get to listen, and because I feel that you guys are knowledgeable about what's going on with your child, and certainly you can share your experiences and may be able to help another family that's online. So did anyone get the forms and would like to share with us today? No? Okay. So let's look at this form. And can you everybody raise their hand or send a text to let us know who received the forms and who did not receive the forms, so we'll know who to send those forms out to? Okay,
you can say it on the chat if you need the form sent.
Okay, and so here when we talk about life trajectory, we're talking about over the span of their life, and we always go to the right side first, because in order to figure out we have to say, okay, what is my vision for a good life? When we're working with our child, we have to say, and these are some examples from my son. I talked about my son in the last class, and he was just saying he knows what he wants. He wants to have a good job. He likes to read. He wants to watch Asian movies. And you know, and one thing he does not want, and I don't think anybody wants that, poverty. He doesn't want to live in poverty, and he doesn't want to have poor health. So in order to do that, we come back over. And so from his life experiences, what he's experienced, I guess he may have had some unpaid medical bills. So he's saying that's an issue for him. And from the future, he knows now to go ahead and pay them up so he doesn't have that reoccurring in his future. And then also he wants to keep up his credit. He wants to make sure, so he's going to be proactive in trying to get his credit score up so he doesn't have that problem. Because that's the experience that he had from the past that he doesn't want to bring to the future. And then so when we look over at the future life experiences, so now he wants to receive information. He's telling us how he wants to receive information in order to have a better life. He's saying when he has, you know how we sometimes as parents, we give them 3 or 4 tasks to do at one time. He's saying on his job, he knows if he gets a job, he wants his employer to say to him and give him information easier for him to understand. So you may want to do it in a 1 and 2 steps. So he's letting us know, because from his past, he knows that getting all of that information at once and trying to process it as he works on a job, that was hard for him. So he's looking at the next time when he goes on his job, he's going to tell them, is it possible you can give it to me 1 at a time so I can make sure that I accomplish the goal that you set for me on this job. And then so, and then when it comes to life experiences, what pushes the arrow toward things you don't want is, you know, of course, I said again about the bills. He got sick, didn't have insurance. So he definitely wants to push it forward to start looking for insurance. So he'll have it. And then also he's looking for a job with benefits. And that's going to be something he's going to want for the future. So these are just examples of how to fill out the form. And certainly if you guys have any questions, or you want to talk about the form in itself and to understand, Christina, is this the form you work with your mom and dad? I don't know if she's still on or not, but she worked on this form with her mom, and it was an awesome form.
Sorry. Yeah, I did work with it. It wasn't, we didn't go into much detail in this form. There is the other one, the one that is more detailed. We'll see it ahead. That's okay. The one I worked with them in detail. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll go back and talk, but this is a form that you can look, and it kind of details, and whereas you may have the other form we have where it just has a vision and what it would be for a good life for me, and then what I don't want. But certainly this will take it out and expand it more, because you're looking at your past experiences. Because remember, your past experiences, when it comes to trajectory, that's how it will determine your life, your new future experiences. So if you have made good decisions in the past, then when you come to the future, you've already made those decisions and it's better for you, and your life is where you want it to be at that time. And certainly I always tell people life changes in a blink of an eye. So just remember this form, you may have worked this form out, but then you can go back later and say, okay, those change, you know, what I did in this past, I want to look at this, how I can better my future. So then you start from the point that you started using this form, you just erase it. And guys, y'all can keep this and rewrite on this, download it and continue to use it and put it in like a folder. So you'll always have those different forms, but this is interchangeable as your life changes. Oops, let me see. Okay, now when we're working out those forms, these are some things that you want to think about, because you start when your child is in elementary. You start because you're thinking about getting him to middle school, and then you're getting him to high school, and then from high school you have to start thinking about, is he going to go to college? Is he going to have a job? Is he going to stay at home with you as he attends college, or is he going to live in the dorm? So, and with that, you have to think about accommodations. You have to think about, so all of that is something started when they are young, but just because you didn't start, there's not ever a time where you can say, I'm too late. You can start from where you are and start building from there. So these are some questions you can ask to consider where, it says, consider where and with whom the person with an IED lives at the moment. So if you have a son that's living at home with you, and you know he has he wants to live on his own. Who doesn't want to live on their own and away from their parents? Okay, that was 18. I'm like, I'm out. You know, I lived on the campus, and you know, that just taught me to be independent, because sometimes, you know, you have to work in order to help pay some school expenses. So again, you have to think about it. Are they going to live at home, or are they going to live with someone? So all these things you have to take into account when you're planning for the future. Where does he or she want to live? And certainly with a person, we're talking about person-centered. So we are talking about that person with the disability. We always want to include them. And I think we've talked about in the last two classes about they are center and first. Anytime that you're making plans for that person, they should be there making the plans with you, because it's all about their wants and what they will need. So definitely, I will tell you guys, when you start and when they become of age, make them center and first, and they make sure that anything that you plan for them is what they want. Because sometimes us as parents, we want to push our agenda. We know what's best for them, but sometimes it doesn't work out because that's not something that they want. So just ensure that when you're planning, that you have the person with the disability with you. And then you want to talk about, does this child, can he make decisions on his own? Now, this becomes when a child is in high school, when they turn 18, remember, they become their own person. Are they able to make decisions independently? How much support do you want to give them? You know, sometimes they just need a little support. They don't need you to hover over them and make the decisions for them, because you want them to feel independent and that they can do things on their own, and you just want to support them. So just remember, just support when needed. And if it's not needed, stand back. And if you see something, you can kind of gently push to what you think that you see, because of course we always say we're the adults, so we've been through it, so we know, so we just want to guide them. So you just want to be there to guide them and be their advocate for whatever things that they need. And so
May I
remember,
just say a thing,
yes,
Inger, just to support what Inger is saying. When we're planning out for the future, some of your kids might still be in the school age, maybe little or middle school. One thing to think about also, and I know it's a big list, but when they hit that age where if you haven't thought of it, the school will let you know, hey, it's time to think about guardianship. Go do the guardianship. If you don't know, you might not know if guardianship is the right thing for your child, because disability and everybody can be different. There are some children that don't really need that the parents have total guardianship of their decisions. There are children that, as Inger is saying, will have certain amount of independence when they want to make a decision. So there are other things. You have to know that there are other things that are not necessarily guardianship 100%. There are other instruments that are as legal as guardianship whenever you need them. So when that time comes, or right now, you can also ask us about that, and we can direct you to get the best information. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. Because yes, it's so many things. So when they turn 18, it becomes something different, you know? And so we just got to start planning for that ahead of time. And so we do have another class that we offer, which is called, I don't know if some of you guys were able to attend it, networking. And this is that bottom part where we're talking about building those connections in the community. We want to make sure that we get every benefit that they are eligible for. We want to start looking for that and make sure that we're already checked in before, because there's always for something a deadline. So start looking for whatever you think that your child is going to need to be successful in the future. But when it comes to networking, I want to talk to you guys about that. That is when you have your friends, the doctors that is caring for your child, anyone that wants to be a part of that child's growing, because sometimes, as we know, life happens for us and we're caring for the child, and all of a sudden we're unable to care for that child. So you want to put a network in place that someone knows this child's services that they get weekly, monthly, any benefits that they have, how they get to and from if they're going to have a job. So somebody can step in, and it could be the brothers, sisters, friends, neighbors, anybody in the community that has a close connection with that person. So I always say the connections are so important, and it's good to have a network when the event that you are no longer able to take care of that child. They have someone that will just pick right up. They know what the diagnosis of it is for them, and what their capabilities are, and what they will need to support them. So we will be talking about that too, about networking. So if you want any information about networking, we are working with, can you tell them who we're working with, Christina? Because Christina, memory is so good. Okay.
Oh yes, Parent to Parent. Texas Parent to Parent is the association that is helping us with the networking and building personal networks. And they have a great project where if you think that you might not even know people to put in your network, they will lead you and let you go through that process so you can establish the right network for you and your child. Yes, Usha?
Yes. Yeah, we are already doing it. Our group are already doing it.
Oh, wow, wonderful.
Okay. The whole group? That's great.
Yeah, I think in our group, 10 of us are doing, I think 10 of us out of 25.
Yeah. Oh, and wow, you know, it is a great experience, and they do know what they're doing in Texas Parent to Parent. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that, Usha. Great.
Yes, yes. So how far have you got in the planning? Have you already set up your group, named your group, and meetings, set meetings?
We have the group name, and we chose Special Stars.
Oh, wow.
That is our tag name. And now I think we finished meeting 4. Now 2 more meetings to go. Now we are going to help each other to do the mock practice first. We'll gather in the Zoom and we'll do mock practice. Mm-hmm. And we'll invite our friends and do it. We'll see how far we can go. Yeah,
that is great, Usha. That is that network for your family, or is all the group doing a network for all your children?
What we decided, because we don't have family here, because we are from Nepal and India, and some are from Pakistan, and we decided to help each other. In the group, and with that meeting we will we will help each other. Mm-hmm. That we are planning to do.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, that's awesome. 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 Great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So guys, if stay connected, because she already has the end and she knows what's going on. She kind of guides you. If you want to start a networking for your family or your group, certainly reach out, because we are in this group. And I don't know if everybody knows Usha, but if you want to share your email or something, if somebody's interested, you're more than welcome to do that. And because I think it's so important that we have a group of people, so that person that we're helping to support always has that support. If you can't do it as a parent, that you have a brother, a sister, a cousin, or next door neighbor that is able to step in. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Usha.
Yeah, and I was so impressed. Lots of people are open to be in the network. I asked one of my son's doctor, and he is willing to do that. Mm-hmm. And the therapy place where Ankit goes, and therapists, they are willing to be part of the group.
That is amazing. And that's what I'm talking about when we say we think. I also don't have any family here in Houston, and I think, wow, it's just like, how could I build a network if I don't know a lot of people? But you don't know who is really willing to be in your network, because you can be surprised of how many people care about your family and you don't even know. So that's great. That's great. That I know that you're working with it.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so excited when I see people actually working through the program and seeing how it's been a benefit to someone. Thank you so much. Okay, so now this is a form. I don't know if you guys can see this. What?
Sorry, I think by mistake I muted you, Inger. I was trying to click myself and I clicked you. Sorry.
Okay, so sorry guys. This is a form, and I don't know if I sent this with the pack, but if you guys are interested in this form, this is a great form because it's a checklist. And in the first, and I'll just do the first one, it says son or daughter wants to live in, and then you can start checking that off, and you can start as early as when they're in middle school. If you want to talk about start getting ready for the future, where do they want to live? So many times we talk about that as little children. I keep saying nobody wants to live at home with their parents. They want to be independent. So you can go ahead, their wants, but this is their wish list. And if you would like me to send you this wish list, it's just some things, and I think it's a 2-part form. So if anybody would like to have that, put that in the chat and I'll send it to you on Monday. Because I think it's another great tool that you can use. And this comes from the ARC. They do provide some information about planning for the future as well. Okay, now when you start to take action, now I think we talked about that. These are some questions that you will have. And the first one is the most important to you in life. And that could be that we're talking about the person with the disability. What's important to them? Being and this is just an example, they may want to be financially secure. And that could take on whatever it is, completing your SSI paperwork so you get some money to help you with medical needs and things that personal things that you'll need throughout the year and the month and the day. And then another question is, what is the least important? What's least important to you? And that could be anything. If that person, the least important to them is where they live, they want to still stay at home with their parents, or they want to stay in an apartment, but they don't really care if it has any different accommodations. If they're going to school, sometimes they may not want to use the accommodations that the school gives them. So that's least important to them. So when you sign them up for college, you just want to have them the classes. And then, and in the event that you need to provide some things for them, accommodation, things like that, that will come secondary. But it will be all up to the decision of the person with the disability, how much support they will need in college. So that's just one of the examples. And then we have listed here, these are just life domains. These are things that you should be thinking about: daily life and employment, community living, healthy living, safety and security. Let me tell you, you live in Houston, okay? With a person with a disability, you want to make sure that wherever they're going to be living, if they are independent, that it's safe for them and they feel secure. So in the event, so definitely when you start looking for a place to be, for them to live independently, these are some things you want to think about. And then also social. So many times, people with a disability, their family will shut them in and they don't have those connections with other people. You want to get them out into to groups that with peers of their age, because they want to feel included. So just remember that when you're planning things, and you will there are so many people that are ready to share and bring them into their circle and have that connection with them. So certainly, don't forget to make sure that they're out and in the community and being with peers and people of their age, and because they need to experience the same lives just like anyone else. They are just like any child that whether they have a disability or not. We always want to feel included. So just remember that. And then when you're also remember, when you're working with a person with a disability, you are the advocate, but they are the person centered. So we're looking at what they want and what they're going to need. And there is two differences of what they want. And I'll explain to you what the want is. Say, for instance, we had in our last PowerPoint, one of them, where it says, and I'll just use my mom for example, she loved to watch CNN. So that was a want for her. But because she had MS, we knew she had to take her medicine. So that was a need in order for her to keep thriving and living, she had to have that medication. So those are the two things you want to think about when you say the want and the need. And of course, if it's not going to be safe for someone to be around others for whatever reason, you want to think about, we know they want to do that, but what's the need is to keep them safe. So just remember that when we're going into the wants and need, what's the difference? I'm gonna have to, okay. And then what would you like to focus on after that? What do you want to focus on after they, and this is like, when you take them from elementary, middle school, high school, okay, there are two decisions that you have to make when you get to high school. And you definitely want to start doing your arts, talking about is that child going to go to college? Are they going to need help in the workforce? Are they going to go, they're not going to go to college. They don't want to go to college, but okay, so if they do want to college, there's some things that you will have to plan. You'll have to take action with that. But if they want to go to go to work in the community, certainly you want to start talking about that. And you can start showing them as far as working with at home with them. So if their chore is to wash dishes, this is the way you prepare the water. This just different steps you want to teach them, so they are aware of there's going to be steps in order to get a task completed. So just remember, if they are focusing on a job, when you're with the art committee and you're talking about the IEP, you definitely want to include something about being on the job, maybe some self-help skills. You want to talk about that. So definitely that's a planning for so think about that. What you think your child, are they going to go to college? Are they going to go to jobs? So you work toward that throughout their high school. So they're ready when they finish high school, they're ready for college, or they're ready to get a job in the community. Okay. And the next one is, what would you like to focus on first? So definitely, I would say, and this is an example, but you may have something that you want to focus on or they want to focus on is having, my first focus is I want to have a safe place to live. I want to have anywhere I go, safe transportation. If I'm living with someone else, I'm living safe in that apartment with that person and all my needs are being met. So that's something, these are just some questions you want to think about. And then it's all about taking action in these different life domains. Okay, so is everyone ready to start kind of working on, does everyone have the form for the profile form? And then we go to it and I'll come back to this.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay, so we'll look at this, and some of you guys, y'all can work through the form. You can unmute, and if you want to share in whatever section of the form, because here's the form right here, and it's just a very simple form. And this can be, I said, this can be interchangeable as a child grows. You can start this profile in elementary. When they get to middle school, and because remember that all experiences, elementary experiences takes on, it goes to middle school and then it goes to high school. So as those change and they go through the different life stages, you can certainly change this profile, because it'll certainly, as they get older, it'll mean something different and they'll need something different. So anyone want to take the first one when it says what people like or admire about them? And I'll just give you an example, and then someone else can talk about this too. One example is to me, when you talk about that, my son has the biggest smile. That is an asset. And then you know that he is a people person. He can work in the field of working with people in public and talking to them. He feels comfortable talking to them. So that would be an asset for them. Could somebody else share what they think their child asset would be, or people admire about them?
Yeah, my daughter, like I've heard many people say that she's very social and she's very happy to be with people. She enjoys company, and she's very good at interacting.
Oh, so see, that's right. So if she goes to get a job, she wants to focus on that. She wants that to be a plus. So that knows that she can work in the community. She loves to be around people. She and so many people, and that can be so many jobs, the airport where people are traveling back and forth. You know, she may want to do that, or she may want to work in a grocery store where people get their needs every day and you see the same people in. And, you know, people feel so comfortable when they see that same person with that same smile and so helpful. So that is a plus for her. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, my son Ankit has a unique sense of humor.
Oh, wow.
I met him the other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Oh, okay. So see right there, there's so many opportunities for him because, you know, life happens and somebody needs to, you know, just have a smile that day, and he can say something that will brighten your day, even if it's just saying hello and providing a smile. So there is so many opportunities for him. Anyone else?
Well, I want to say that through the chat, Jayashri, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, says that this is a great tool to use during IEP meetings. And I think she hit the nail, because after doing all other forms and starting as a family to think about what the child needs for their future and all, I think we can all resume this in this form. Like, we have gone to deeper levels to know that person now. And this is what we can present to anybody that is meeting our child with a disability.
That is right? This is so important. And Jay, is it? Yes, you are certainly right, because you are going to be that spokesperson for your child. And when people see this form and they can identify with your child, then it takes on a different meaning for them when they're planning for them. So certainly you are right. Take this form with you and tell them, hey, this is my child. This is what he likes. This is what he doesn't like. This is how you can support them. Thank you so much. Did you have some more to share?
No, I was just going to, add a comment to what you all just have shared, right? Yeah, we, in preparation for IEP meetings, as we asked the school and the IEP team for a copy of the PLAF and other things and talk about goals, if we complete and send this ahead of time to the IEP committee prior to the IEP meeting itself, it helps to have a conversation around the goals in support of expectations and where we see a child and where we want to get there, right? So I think it can
that is a great idea, Jay, because in that committee, they work for our child, but some of them might not really know our child very well. Like, they are participating because that's their job, but they might not be able to, on a day-to-day basis, be with our child and know them well. So that is a great idea. Remember that in IEP meetings, you are one of the most important people there. You are the one that really knows your child. So you are I think you're the boss. I mean, this is all negotiating with the school district always. Right. And we want to do it in a good way. So that is a great idea. These are tools that you can really even send them before the meetings, just to make sure that they have a lookout on how your child is, so they can confirm everything. Great idea.
Great idea. I love it. Love it.
The thought that came to my mind, like, had we known this prior, like, my daughter is out of school, I wish I had known this earlier. But of course, like in IEP meetings, we do like come up with like, we advocate for a kid and say like what they want and what are their, plus and, what they wish. But then somehow these formats like really kind of help to keep us with track of, like, as they grow, like it changes. So these forms really kind of guide and help us to maintain a record, so that, when we look back, we also know how they have grown and how things have changed.
Right.
Totally true. And oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted. The thing is that even if your child is already out of school, the good thing about a parent of a child with disability is that you're getting to know these tools, and you might think, hey, this could be good for another family that are still on that way through school. So yes, please, by all means, share them.
And I attended Texas Parent to Parent Network, and the one pager, like the portfolio, we can use for the job too, right? The job and the health, what we call, when you go to the doctor, if you have one pager information, then we can share with them, right? At workplace too, like, how to best support him, right? Yeah, we can use this.
Yes.
I agree with you.
I love it. You guys, I told you guys are the experts. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I also believe that this we can use for the network, framing the network, because like those people, they will understand our child better.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And when you making decisions about someone, it is so important to have a full picture of that child. And you are certainly right. All of you are certainly right. Having this in front of them to be able to make a clear decision about that child is so important. And just remember, this can be changed. Because as you know, your child grows and they experience new things. So you can just keep it and say, hey, this is where he was at this point in time in his life. He's here now. So certainly, I do appreciate you guys. If y'all need any other forms, certainly reach out to us, because I think this is awesome that people are able to share. And even once we finish this small group, which this is our last class, we can certainly keep it going. Okay, you guys will always have the support from Family to Family Network. We are here for you guys, and not just offering you this. There is so much information we have for you. So at any time that you reach a point and you have a question about something, it's always good to get that support from your peers, from your people that you're working with in your group, but not only with Family to Family Network. If we don't know the answer, because certainly we all don't know everything, but we are certainly able to reach out to certain people to give you information that you need to be successful in planning for the future. So I appreciate you guys. Any more before we move on? I think this may be our last slide. I'm not sure, but I thank you so much for sharing. Yep, this is our last slide. So is there anything that you want to share that may help someone as we start planning for the future, since we do have a few minutes?
Yeah, I would like to share the information. For my son, the technology and YouTube is very important, right? Mm-hmm. And he likes to make sure the other kids with disability has that too. And we met Brian in the Sci-Fair Transition Fair, and Brian said he has a sibling with disabilities, and he started talking about, does he watch YouTube? And
right. So they're kind of the same in that way.
Yes. Yeah. I just wanted to
see, and that connection you made with Brian, and then that your son saw that connection. Now he has a connection. He's just going to build off of that connection. So that's why I tell parents that it's so important to get your child in the community. Don't just you go and then bring the information back to him. Take him with you. If he's able or she is able to go with you, take him with you when you go to these resource fairs. There may be something that makes a light may come on and say, you know what, Mom, I never knew what I wanted to do, but now I want to do that. So, and they have so many events. You can go on to our website. There are much more events. And because we had a family that was in one of these other small groups, he didn't know anything about, what was that walk, the buddy walk?
Right.
For children Down with syndrome. Down syndrome. Okay. He came out and he brought his daughter. She was so excited. He was saying he never knew that there was there was somebody out there, and there were people that she can connect with. And they had cheerleaders, with Down syndrome. And she was saying, and she was trying to do the cheers with them. So I always tell parents, it's so important to look on the website, just go online sometime and search different support groups or events that they may be having in the community to get your child involved, because it's so important that they make social connections and they feel a part of the community. Okay.
Yeah, I will highly recommend the Soaring Kids. If anybody like their child to play the sports, Ankit used to do it, but because of his medical, right, he is stopped doing it. But I highly recommend. They have the, you know, one-on-one volunteer body, like, you know, to help to play the sports, like t-ball, basketball, soccer, you can name it, you know, and the taekwondo also they did. Yeah, they have lots of places, like, you know, lots of sports they do throughout the year.
Oh, wow.
That is the importance of networking. You always get to meet somebody that will tell you something that you might not know and could be beneficial for your family. So
yes, and they have the, you know, the adult group, 18+ group, and the small kids group, both. Yeah,
great.
do.
Oh, wow.
Can you put in the chat the name of the organization, Usha, please?
Yes.
So if somebody doesn't know it, that is something great. And I want to add that some of you, maybe a couple of you, hadn't been in our other classes and might not have received some forms or one of the forms or whichever. If you want to receive any of the forms, please do complete the survey. I just put the link in the chat. And after you do it, send us an email, and then we'll send you saying, hey, I already answered the survey, and that's when we'll send you all the forms. Yes, Jay?
Yeah, I was also going to add another comment that I do not know if you have used the Cypress Academy of Gymnastics. They have a couple of around town, and they have a program for special needs kids. And our son Richie has been going for a few years, and that's a great program, and a staff that they've got there, and yeah, and they have one-on-one type services there too. And
okay, yeah, add that to the chat too, because see, this is what it's all about right here, is connecting and making this small group. And so I thank you all for sharing. Don't forget to put the survey in. I have enjoyed our time together, but again, if you want to do this again with your family group or another group, certainly reach out to us. We will definitely share this information, and we'll be ready to go. So again, as Christina said, don't forget the survey. Then after the survey, we'll send you out the recording, as well as, and we'll send you out all the recordings, the ones that you've missed, but you'll have to complete the survey and just let us know.
And you also mentioned that you will provide one-on-one to create the portfolio and the live training. Okay.
Yes, you can reach out to me or Christina, and we'll be more than happy to share that with you. We can do it by Zoom, or we can do it on the phone, because I know it's so important, because sometimes we don't do the forms because we simply, you know, sometimes get confused with forms. And I know we've done a lot of talking today, and sometimes I'll go like, and I know with me, my memory, so I have to go, okay, now, what did you say about this form? So certainly, and just remember, no question. It's any question that you may ask, somebody else may have that same question. They just afraid to answer. I mean, to ask it. So, so let us know how we can be supportive. Certainly we can talk about networking. All of us may not be able to do that networking with Denise, but certainly I'll be doing the networking too. In our second year of our grant, I'll be starting to do that with you guys. So we'll have more opportunities to work together to start the networking. So if you don't get to do it with Denise, you'll certainly be doing it with me and Christina. We'll be working and starting a network, because I think it's so important as parents that we don't keep our child. We have people to help us, because if I have not learned anything in losing my mother and father within 5 months, it has to be networking. You have to have someone that you can connect with and that can help you through whatever decision that you're making. So just be very sure in the future that you keep your connections. And if you want somebody to join your connection, if they say no, respect them and say, well, I do appreciate it, you know, and just continue asking others, because some people don't want to take on that, you know, it's not a burden, but they don't want to feel obligated. And so just know it's okay if you ask someone to join your network, a neighbor, a friend, a sister, a brother, and they say, well, I don't feel comfortable, you know, don't take it as anything as a negative thing, you know. Just know that there are going to be other people that are going to be there to support you, and it's okay. Okay, so if you want to have any more information about networking, certainly give us a call or email, and we will certainly get back with you with that information. I want to say thank you to everyone. Don't forget about the forms. If you
Enjoy
need
the
the
rest of your
forms,
Saturday.
yes.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
so much, and we'll see you
You
guys
all.
if we have another class. Bye.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sir. You had a-
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, you too.
Hey.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Christina.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
Bye.
bye.